right, welcome back into another episode of Indiebnb. Today we are joined by a member of Walt Disco, Jocelyn. How are we doing?
I'm very good, thanks. How are you?
Good. Well, we're doing this on a special Saturday. It's we got a different time zone. You're over in Scotland, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, it's like actually beautiful today. It's like the best, one of the like nicest days of the year. So it doesn't feel like Scotland, which is quite good. Uh, but when it gets to 20 degrees Celsius, I start to overheat because I'm just not used to it.
Gotcha. I gotcha. We'll get in there and we'll talk through some of the scene in Glasgow. I mean, I like to kind of like start with just generally for you guys. I mean, what shaped y'all as a band? I mean, as far as just getting in here and starting the Walt Disco project. Like, what has shaped y'all? What's got the what got you guys into it?
I mean, it's like I suppose like it's like a lot of like the history of Scottish music, like stuff like Orange Juice and Blue Nile and Simple Minds and Cocteau Twins and just like absolutely legendary bands like the Waterboys and stuff like that. So uh like when like we started, it was a really different lineup. The only people left were me and Lewis from the band. Like from
Mhm.
then, that wasn't really like um that wasn't really the why we started. We kind of just started because we were at uni and we want to start a band, and like everyone who liked indie music liked Mac DeMarco. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just like it wasn't, there wasn't really much thought into the genre or the style when we started. But then when we sort of, you know, started making more music and I was like finding my voice, like we were kind of like hearing these bands because we were occasionally being compared to them, like by like just like people like shows, like obviously in Scotland, like people be like, "Oh, you remind me of this band I used to love," and it'd be like, "Oh, your voice is a bit like Edwyn Collins." And then when I started singing higher, like it was like, "Oh, your voice is like Billy Mackenzie from The Associates a bit." And then I like got into these bands based on the fact that people said that you sound like them, and then
Yeah.
and then just have been obsessed ever since. And it's like always been like a nice reference point for us. Like as much as like we've experimented with loads of genres, like that does feel like always a place to go back to. And then like when we've been playing to like older crowds supporting orchestral maneuvers in the dark, it's like so often stuff like, you know, you sound like Billy Mackenzie and all that. And um but then obviously like I with Scottish things, like there's a huge like David Bowie influence, like uh, which we get a lot, and we're all massive Bowie fans. Um, uh, but also like like Queen and stuff like that, like slightly like campier, less post-punk stuff as well. Is a big part of you
Well, I
know.
mean, you
Yeah.
got some heavy hitters in there as far as just getting
Yeah.
a lot that I don't know. I mean, I think, I haven't experimented with Scottish music, but I definitely will be taken away and doing
Yeah,
a
yeah.
little deep dive after this for
Oh
sure.
yeah. It's incredible.
So, coming up, you guys start this at university, and you're getting, when did you feel like it was, hey, this is we're going to do this, and after you guys graduated, continue doing it, and yeah, you said you've had a lot of iterations of the band. So, like,
Yes.
what has that? You guys still remember those kind of times now, and you see how far you come every now and then.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I suppose it's hard to because like a lot of the members like weren't there for them, but so occasionally like it'll just slip into like story time, being like, "Oh, that reminds me of this time where you weren't in the fucking band and like we did this thing." And, like yeah, like cool stuff would happen. Like like I left uni at the end of 2018, uh, mainly because I wasn't like interested, but I was just so into the idea of being in a band, and I was like doing like modeling and stuff as well, like. And like the start of 2019, we played King Tut's, which is a legendary venue, like sold it out, and then uh the day after, I got a flight at 6 in the morning, like hadn't been to bed, because I like was we had an after party at this music bar, and then I went to Paris for Paris Fashion Week and walked for Celine, and like so that was like a month after dropping out of uni. So like I mean, creatively and like just like life experience wise, like we still had a way to go. Like
Mhm.
Finley had just joined the band, who's like still in the band, but like Jack and Charlie weren't in the band yet, and yeah, so it was like a bit, we weren't doing everything in the right way, which I know now. Like we weren't writing enough, we weren't practicing enough, but we were had something like and there's
Yeah.
people, and we could kind of feel that a bit, and then also people could feel that a bit, um, and it was exciting to be like doing all these things, and like played a lot of shows in 2019, um, but because the lineup was like so like sort of topsy-turvy, I think we did like 72 shows or something, like it was about 70, 75 shows with like 12 musicians. Like
Wow.
basically just a rotating cast of like drummers and like guitarists like filling in. And like then and that sort of encouraged us to be like, right, we need to find a solid lineup. And then like Charlie joined and Jack joined at the end of 2019, and it was great. And then we like going into 2020 feeling quite strong. We had like kind of strong songs like Cut Your Hair was we had like sort of in the bag, and we were gonna release that in 2020, and then we were getting all the like magazine like sort of like class of 2020 like DIY and all that being like they're gonna have a big year, and then obviously pandemic hit, but which was like gutting because we had like cool shows and stuff like that like booked, but it kind of was like as soon as they announced lockdown, I was like, right, we need to write an album. And
Mhm.
then we learned that during that time that we didn't write enough, and like we hadn't wrote enough in the previous years, and it kind of changed our attitude a bit, like into being like this is the reward. Like writing and producing music is like the reward and like the goal, and like it's like 80% of it really. Like as much as
Yeah.
I'm busy with so much, like that's what you should want to do, and that's what you need to do is write good music. Uh, so like but because we were like almost like inexperienced with it, like in 2020, like it was hard, and it took a while, and like there was lots of changes, and we're kind of producing ourselves on a laptop in a room, but we didn't know how to do that, so we like maybe like send stems off to producers who were also working from home, um, and yeah, made this kind of like weird like electronic like album because it was lockdown and we couldn't record drums and all that stuff. So it's like it was kind of not the like necessarily the full sound of what we were supposed to be, but it was like a cool
Mhm.
thing that we could make based on like the music we were also listening to, like Sophie and stuff like that, so stuff like that. Uh,
Interesting.
yeah. Uh,
So, so
yeah, go ahead.
within like that time, like I mean, we're locked down 2020. We're kind of getting the. It sounds like you guys were getting the, working out the kinks on the writing process, getting kind of that, established. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
is that where I know you had a 2022 album, come out, which
Yeah,
you guys,
that's unlearning.
unlearning, like.
Yeah,
So I guess that unlearning title kind of, you guys were unlearning kind of the
yeah.
way you guys were prior, and then you guys were
Yeah,
pushing
yeah,
forward after that.
yeah. It definitely part of it, like yeah, because like there's parts of being in a band that like you get swept up in it all, and like when you start it out and you're kind of exciting and you're like you dress kind of cool or whatever, like you like people like big you up a bit, and you kind of just get into the attitude of being in a band is like going to the bars and hanging out with other bands. And I was like, fucking, that's not what it is. And like, uh, so yeah, but it was like, so yeah, it was related to that for many other things in life and stuff. But then like on this like upcoming album, The Warping, that was kind of like a slight reaction to like that, like sonically and and like the writing process, like because it was a sort of an electronic album, even though we're a band of like five like talented musicians, like we were like, what's kind of almost the opposite to that, and we were like, right,
Mhm.
so an orchestra, you know, like I think so. We were just like, let's get a string quartet and all the brass players and all this stuff, and like record drums, like trying to make the drums sound like Capitol record drums, you know, like from the '70s and all that.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, based on like, you know, and like Scott Walker and stuff like that, stuff that like we listen to a lot. Um, so yeah, and we've still been like working at the Kinks because lockdown, you know, not necessarily all of us were involved in the writing process. It was like we had to get to the stage of working like more together,
Yeah.
um, like and not like typing notes like to songs on email and actually being in the room and writing them together and like, you know, we watched like Get Back, obviously, like and you know saw the Beatles like jamming in a circle, like fucking like figuring out how to write songs. So we did that on like stuff like Jocelyn and Weeping Willow. Like was very just like acoustic guitars, notepads, and in a circle, which was nice, and they were really easy to arrange because it because of that. Um, Obviously, like some of the tracks weren't like that, and but you know it was. But Come Undone is like when we you know wrote all together, and it was like a nice uh sort of like use of everyone's qualities.
Yeah.
Um, because it was like it it we, the Jessica Winter who like helped us write it, like we were in London and she had this like kind of like pumped, like I think it was like train sound or something, the one that goes ho, 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 or whatever, like really pulsing, and then like I think we might have got some piano or something down. And then like Jack and Charlie, because we were really in sort of practice with like building up backing vocals, they kind of just like bashed out all of those like choral, gospely um backing vocals in like 10 minutes. Like I was just like watching it happen. I was like, what the fuck? Like as much as like I think like I was like and I know they're talented. I was just like I've never seen you just like write a gospel arrangement or like and like that before. And then not even done it again to be fair. So it was just something about that day, and that was incredibly inspiring. And then like we got and it was groovy, and then like Charlie put down a really groovy bass, and like Finley and Lewis like came up with this really intertweaving, like really catchy guitar parts. So and then and then I with Jessica was like figuring out the lyrics. So it was like it was a feel like a really working machine, and like the energies of everyone and the vibes of everything that day kind of like it makes sense that the song is kind of feels like a big hitter because
Yeah.
it was just working really well.
So, I mean, like it sounds like more like everyone was coming together instead of coming undone on this one.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it
yeah,
was,
yeah,
you
totally.
know,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
I
yeah,
love that. I mean, of course, you know, with the song Spotlight, you know, he's referring to is Coming Undone, which will be linked in our thing in our description down here. So if you want to go check it out, go stream it on, you
yeah.
know, all the platforms. But Coming Undone will be in the description down here, and you can hear the choral gospel that they came up with in 10 minutes, which is amazing. So well, so for you, I mean, generally in the writing process, you know, as you guys have, you know, iterated now and where it is today, like,
Mhm.
are you who are do we have everybody contributing? You guys, you said you kind of get in a circle, kind of like that in
Yeah,
that, you know, vibe for this album, and you know,
yeah.
album's out June, right? In
June
June
14th. Yeah, yeah.
June 14th. Yeah.
There you go.
Um, so, you know, talk me through, like, I mean, as do we expect more Coming Undone, like, you know, with, you know, bigger arrangement? And I just hear it and I think big. Like, I think like
Yeah,
when I
yeah.
see it live, it's going to be big.
Yeah, yeah.
Is there more like that coming through?
There's like yeah, there's a lot of like big there's definitely a lot of big tunes. Like it's not necessarily like loads more like kind of disco-y stuff. Like
Mhm.
it but there's like orchestral arrangements. Like the title track, The Warping, is like kind of that like Bowie Sparksy, but like also got like kind of like I kind of go a bit like Liza Minnelli on the vocals, and it like really crescendos, and there's just like it like kind of very like classical arrangements, like the loads of motifs and melodies and counter melodies and stuff. Like so, I'm really proud of that track. And then there's a song called The Captain, which is kind of like a pure like kind of seasick, fucking really big, like MGMT kind of vibe. And then like the album closer, Before the Walls, is very like kind of uh like film scorey. Like it
Mhm.
gets really big in the way that like a lot of sort of modern film scores do, but also has got like a 60s kind of plucky bass and stuff. So we're molding all the genres, but
Love it.
we always go big.
I'm
Even on smaller like the songs that appear at first like intimate, like Jocelyn, really explodes when all the like trumpets and stuff come in. Um, so yeah, we like to have fun with dynamics and stuff.
Well, when you're writing stuff and going into that, process, obviously you guys y'all are coming to tour here in Atlanta or in, the States, to
Yeah,
support OMD. And
yeah.
I'm excited for the October 19th date here in Atlanta, which is going to be great. What for somebody who's never seen y'all before, like, and I'm getting the first experience. How do you want people to walk out of your show, after you guys get going and after you finish up? What do you want people feeling?
Uh, I like I mean, we always try and take people on a sort of a journey, even on like half an hour, like sets. Like we start, we've been starting on the album opener, like Seed into Gnomes, which is, theatrical and campy in the way it's describing his voice, this, describing the situation, and like it's like humorous but like really big, and then it goes into like the disco stuff like Come Undone, and then like
Yeah.
a sillier song like How Cool Are You. So like people are feeling like happy and like kind of joyful and dancing a bit, and then we like to like come down a bit, and we've got like songs like Pearl and Jocelyn, which people can listen to the tracks and watch every the nice little arrangements, and then we kind of like swell up to like a big ending where we get, and because we get like darker and like gothy and even like kind of metally at times, like so just kind of like people to feel like they went through a roller coaster of emotions and feelings with their body and mind. Uh so that's kind of what we're going for.
That is
Yeah.
awesome. Well, I'm thrilled. I can't wait to get I can't wait to go on the journey. I mean, it's like
Yeah,
you're telling me, you're giving me the preview to the movie, and I want to go see it now, but
yeah.
I gotta wait. I gotta get a little, you gotta get time. I got time. Well, one of the things that, like, I always like to ask, and you were talking about earlier, like your band members. You had kind of an inconsistent lineup for the early years, and now it seems like you guys have got a little bit more,
Yeah, yeah.
some consistency there. So, you know, I always like to ask, like, people can easily ask on tour, like, hey, who's the dirtiest on tour? Who's the one who's, not clean up, whatever. Like, I want to know what you appreciate about each of your band members, and what are some qualities that, like, man, I tell you what, Lewis, just every day he's just got snacks, or like he's just the
Oh yeah.
best. So
Okay.
talk to me a little bit about that.
Okay.
Like, what do you
Oh,
appreciate about everybody?
that's a good question, and a funny one. Like, so Lewis is so good. Well, he's definitely the most grown up, and he's really smart. Like, he's the only one that graduated, so like from university. So like he like keeps a track of like really accurately with like of all our merch and like our accounting when we're on tour, which is like a job that if which if he didn't do it, I'd end up doing, and I'd do it, but not to the same level of professionalism or thoroughness, and it would be like a bit of a mess. And so yeah, it feels really nice that he takes like loads of responsibility with that. Um, yeah, so yeah, that's yeah. So he wins this game actually.
Okay.
But I'll go on to the others anyway. Uh, Finley is great because he um kind of thrives on like like being kind of made fun of like 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 if any like obviously like when we're together we kind of just like always winding each other up, but
Yeah.
sometimes like it can just one person just be like, I'm not in the mood for getting wound up that day, but Finley just like wants it. Like he's like, yes, fucking insult me, which is like, I know that sounds quite bad, but it's just like, if the mood's maybe dropping down, and then we kind of get on a sort of a silly mood, and that can be part of it. It's quite good. Uh, and then
Love
and,
that.
then Jack. I mean, Jack's got kind of all, yeah, like in this day and age, like a really important role of like what he does like the social media, which like you know is such an important part of being a band nowadays, and like he doesn't and he doesn't like ever complain about it and stuff. So which is like because like when because I still help with it, but like in the past it's been my job, and like that among like everything else used to stress me out, and I used to make I used to make it clear that I'd get stressed about it and be like, shut up, guys. I'm doing the social
I
medias and
gotta
all.
write this post. Come on.
Yeah, like, but Jack isn't like that. Like, and which is, I appreciate so much. So yeah, again, he's maybe up there with Lewis with winning this competition, but and then Charlie's like kind of is great on tour because he's not he's not really shy in the same way that we are. Um, like he can deal with like uh saying hello to like fans, and he enjoys it. But I mean, it's hard at times. Like feel like going to the merch desk and like just being like, oh my god, thank you for like half an hour or whatever. But like he can deal with it much better, and he always goes like straight after we finish, like we'll go and sell merch until we're ready to help him and stuff. So like that's really nice because the sort of rest of us are a bit reserved and feel, yeah, just I guess like shyer and more self-conscious, and it feels really nice that we have someone like Charlie that manages to get over himself enough to be able to deal with that sort of thing. So yeah, it's a working machine on tour, and everyone has a crucial role.
I love it. I love it. I mean, it sounds like, I mean, you got Finley sounds like y'all's vibes guy. You know, he's the hey, like everybody's getting going. He's okay with being being out there. And then Charlie's your salesman.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
got Jack and Lewis obviously holding down the admin and the merch
yeah,
side, and
yeah,
getting people rolling. So
yeah.
that's awesome. Well,
I mean,
glad that,
it's worth shouting out that like Finley on the musical side of things is way more than the vibes guy, and he plays guitar, keyboards, like produces like our music and stuff like that. Like so, like, but when it comes to just like stuff like that, he's the vibes
I
guy.
love it. I love it. Well, I mean, we'll transition into some sillier, even sillier questions here. Pete Peterson's party pack. Yeah, I appreciate you sharing some good words about your bandmates there. I look forward to meeting y'all in person in Atlanta.
Yeah, me too.
Um, so we'll get going. Pete Peterson's party pack. So I'm going to give you a warning. I've started doing this for the people we've been interviewing, but the last question is some bands that we might not know that we ought to check out. So keep that in the back of your mind. Think about percolate that, and because the
Yeah,
questions are easy. So here we go. Pete
yeah,
Peterson's party pack of questions, 20 questions right in a row.
yeah.
Jocelyn, cake or pie?
Pie.
All right. Pieing it up. I like it. All right. Salad or soup?
Salad. Yeah,
Salad.
salad.
All right. Sunrise or sunset? What are you seeing more of these days?
Uh, I don't see either. Scotland in these in this time of year, it's just light forever for so
It,
long.
it's just gray. All right.
Well, no, it kind of gets dark at about like 10 and then gets light again at like 4 in the morning. So it's like, yeah, yeah,
Man,
yes. Because
there's
like
no chance to see either.
kind of like being in the Arctic Circle, you know? Yeah, yeah.
All right. This one's a little bit American. I don't know how much you know about American sports, but would you rather hit a home run or score a touchdown?
Uh, I'd probably say score a touchdown. Yeah,
Touchdown. All
yeah.
right. All right. Night in or night out? What are you having more of these days?
I'd probably have more nights in, but I think like summer makes me want nights out more.
Yeah,
So,
I like it. All right. When you do go out and your jam comes on at a party, your favorite song, are you more likely to hit the robot or the worm?
I don't know if I've ever hit the worm, so I'd probably say it has to be robot. I quite like the ironic, like sort of uh robot, that type of dancing, you know. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Guacamole or queso at your favorite Mexican spot?
Yeah. That's a really tough question. It probably is guacamole, but I love queso.
Okay. All right. Waffles or pancakes in the morning time?
Well, this is a big one for me. I hate both.
Wow.
I love America and everything and so much about it, but the pancakes and waffles being a breakfast staple, I can't deal with.
All right. He's out on our breakfast treats. All right. I like it. I
I
like
just
it.
take the bacon and eggs, and that's it for me. No maple syrup either.
All right. Protein. All right. We got to get the protein in. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
with your bacon and eggs, are you drinking a cup of coffee or tea?
Dark coffee, yeah.
Coffee
Black.
all day. All right. Dogs or cats?
Dogs, but recently, like my partner lives with a cat, so like I've become more of a cat person, less of a cat hater, but I'm still a dog person. Yeah,
Okay. Dogs, but cat curious,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ninja or a pirate? What do you identify more with?
Probably, I'd probably say ninja. Ninja feels well. Being in a band is more like being on a pirate ship, like and on tour is more like being on a pirate ship. But like, I think morally, ninjas probably beat pirates out most of the
I
time. So
got you.
I'm sitting on the fence with
All
that.
right. Gatorade or Powerade? What are you drinking?
Uh, oh, in the UK, Powerade, but Gatorade just because when I'm in America, Gatorade just because it feels like a nice American thing to
I like
do.
it. I like it. Okay.
Yeah.
Toast or bagels in the morning?
Oh, yeah, bagels, especially if I was in the States.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Gotta get those New York bagels. Those are the best ones.
yeah, yeah.
Chips or pretzels? And like I'm talking to like potato chips, not like chips as y'all think about
Right,
them.
not French fries. Still, yeah, chips. Yeah.
Chips. All right. Now I'm thinking about chips like fries or tots, but meaning fries like chips in y'all's
Uh,
world.
okay. Um, ooh, probably, yeah, fries.
Yeah.
But tater tots are great.
Yeah. All right. when you after a long day, are you gonna unwind with a TV show or a movie?
Um, I'd say movie most of the time. Yeah, I don't like to watch like TV unless it's like a show that I'm particularly excited about. So,
Okay, movie. Are aliens real?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Aliens are
definitely.
real. All right. What about Bigfoot or the Yeti?
Um, no, probably not. But like, I believe that the sightings have probably been animals. Like, fucking polar bears standing on 2 feet or
Yeah,
something like that.
I got you. Is
Yeah.
love at first sight real?
Um, yeah, to an extent, I guess. I think with my partner, it was slightly a love at first sight thing. So
All
yeah,
right. All
yeah,
right.
yeah,
You've firsthand experience. You're one of the first people to say that. So
yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah.
like it.
I think that yeah, I get that logically, yeah, we became in love because we knew, we got to know each other, but we were very excited about when we first saw each other.
I got you. All right. And last question of Pete Peterson's Party Pack questions. Who is a band? Give me two bands that I don't know that I ought to check out. Um, that you want to put on?
Oh, um, so there's a few. I'll go Scottish acts. There's like a band called No Windows that's really cool. An artist called Zoe Graham that's really cool. Uh, I'm gonna throw in another one. Lizzie Reed as well. All Scottish. All from Glasgow. Well, not actually all from Glasgow, but all Scottish. So
All right. We got our Scottish Phil. I love it. We're gonna get big in Scotland. We're gonna
yeah, yeah,
work on
yeah. Exactly. Yeah, yeah,
it.
yeah.
We're
And
gonna
you've
work
got your
on it.
homework to do on all the 80s bands from Scotland
Yeah.
as
Of course,
well.
of course.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, well, Jocelyn, appreciate you hopping in here, getting in
yeah,
and taking 30 minutes on the best day of the year in
yeah. I know.
Scotland.
Yeah,
And we'll close out with this.
yeah.
You got the album dropping fully, Warping coming out June 14th. We got the tour. When's the tour start for you guys?
That's September the 9th in Seattle, and
Oh
then
wow.
finish
Okay.
in
So
Florida.
Seattle starts the tour September 9th. Check your local listings.
Yeah,
They're supporting OMD.
yeah.
Um, and
Mhm.
so they're here in Atlanta October 18th.
Yeah.
So get the album going June 14th. Go stream below Coming Undone. Get it let's get that thing heated up here and look forward to seeing you guys in action at the Buckhead Theater.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jocelyn.